Hello beer tubers and welcome to the Master of Hoppets Grand Advent Calendar. It's the second of Advent and we had a great first of Advent with beer and I was about to say aquavit, but no, it was Madeira wine.
It was Madeira wine. It was very nice Madeira wine.
But for the rest of the calendar, it's all surprises from me to Henrik. Wrapped so well in this magic red Christmas towel. The magical red Christmas towel.
I mean, you don't go nowhere without a towel, right?
You don't. And we got more alcohol, booze. But first, let's light the candle for the second of Advent.
Yes.
Oh.
Halfway there.
Yes. So, without further ado, see what beer we're
you have a
going to
present
try.
for me.
Yes, ein Prozent für dich.
Oof, then we went to German.
Yeah.
Okay.
So well wrapped.
Oof, yes. It's almost dangerous. Nay! Oh, it's a Fremont. Oh, and it's cinnamon coconut.
Yeah.
Probably one of my two most favorite tastes. Limited 2021 release Fremont Bee Bomb. Wow.
There we go.
There we go.
This year, in the normal calendar, we always spread out these kind of beers. But this year, we're going ham in Advent. So I got this a while back on Beer Dome. So thanks a ton to Beer Dome for the beer.
Yeah.
It's a vintage beer from Fremont. And we actually popped a Fremont when we were at your place. We had the Rusty Nail.
True. That's
I was
true.
debating bringing this a Rusty Nail, but it ended up being Rusty Nail because there was a lot of other barley wine type beers. Barley wine. This is basically, they have a beer called Abominable Ale, which is a winter ale, English style winter ale. And then they have the version called Bee Bomb, which is like an amplified version. It's kind of like barley wine type beer, English strong ale, you know, these kind of things. That they age in barrels, and then they got variations where they put in adjuncts. So this was from 21, released in 21, so it's been in the bottle for 2 years. And this is with coconut and cinnamon, and we got the Yeti on the label.
Yeti
with
the
a,
coconuts.
with a coconut bra and a Hawaiian skirt, and
nice.
Carrying a barrel. So aged in bourbon barrels, it's a massive beer on 13%. And it's been aged in 8 to 12-year-old American bourbon barrels. And this one here is a blend of 9, 12, and 24-month-old barrel-aged winter ale. I will say, after the first episode, I'm already feeling tipsy because it's strong beer and booze from the get-go. And so this is brewed using 2-row pale malts, Crystal 120, Munich malt, roasted barley, Carafa 2, and chocolate malt. Columbus hops, Willamette hops, and U.S. Golding hops. And then we got cinnamon, coconut, and also yeast and water.
Yeast and water.
The pairing for this episode is whiskey. It is Scotch whiskey, single malt Scotch whiskey. We got a tiny, tiny sample bottle of Glenfiddich 18-year-old Scotch. Glenfiddich is by no means my favorite Scotch whiskey, but I had this one and I've had it around for a while. I'm not opened it, and I was like, let's try it. Because I've actually never tried the old Glenfiddich. I've always only tried the, is it 12? The supermarket.
Yeah, the supermarket ones.
Yeah, so like Glenfiddich is like the supermarket Scotch that is in all supermarkets almost in Denmark. If you want a single malt Scotch, it's Glenfiddich. So I got this one from my mother's boyfriend. He is a travel tour guide and he's in Scotland a lot. And once in a while he'll bring back small tasting bottles of different Scotches. And this is one he got me a couple of years back. And it's aged in also sherry and bourbon oak barrels. And then it's also been matured for 3 months in pure oak barrels. 40%. So let's see. I can't remember if this is Highland or Lowland. I think it's one of the two. But I think this is one of those Scotches where a lot of people's like, yeah, this is kind of like the entry-level Scotch. But let's start with the beer.
Let's do it.
Are you excited about this?
I mean, cinnamon and
coconut
is a match made in heaven, in my opinion. I think that's gonna be very
love
nice.
cinnamon. People who don't like cinnamon in beers, I don't understand it. Cinnamon is like one of the best spices in the world. Again, this has been in the cellar for a while, courtesy of Beer Dome, so thanks a ton to Beer Dome for the beer.
Coconut is also so good in beers as well.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just,
here we go.
There's
a bit of water. Coconut is a match made in heaven for a lot of beers.
Yeah.
Oh, that looks delicious. So since this is a winter ale, As far as I remember, when you get into this territory of ABV with these kind of B bombs, they are kind of like, barley wines.
Is there a specific thing that makes it a winter beer, or is it just
Well,
the
so
spices and what they use, or is it
in the UK? There is, the tradition of doing a winter warmer for Christmas, which is like a stronger ale with English yeast and everything. And this is basically an American interpretation of that. And then they have as I said, abominable. And this is just the variations of that where they do B-bomb. And it's a very accessible beer, and you can get it all over Europe once in a while. Like we get Fremont on the regular now, barrel aged. And a lot of people are like, yeah, but it's not that rich. But they're just so well made, their beers. Yeah. They're not as rich as a lot of modern stouts. But I also think they're like, it doesn't have to be like crazy rich all the time. If the flavors are there, I'm going to be excited about it.
Yeah.
And it's not like watery, and they never are. So. But let's check it out. I'm really excited about this one. This has been in the cellar again for quite a while.
See if we can get the cinnamon and coconut.
Well, let's check out the color first.
Okay.
But yeah, it's the same color as the fucking stout we did, the porter we just had. It is like, this is they use chocolate malt in here. A carafa is a dehusked chocolate malt, and then they use roasted barley. So, and also normal chocolate malt. So
it reminds me very much of what we just had, actually.
It looks like a stout.
It looks like a stout, and it seems like there is a nice bit of carbonation in it as well.
Yeah.
The head is fine.
Yeah, tan looking
head.
And also will be interesting with the spices and coconut, cinnamon and coconut, because it's been in the bottle for 2 years. It can mellow,
Yeah.
So, and then bourbon barrels. Let's check out the aroma. Definitely cinnamon.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it smells like Christmas.
Smells like Christmas.
White night last Christmas. I was about to say white Christmas.
That's dangerous territory to go in.
Yeah. Isn't there a song, White Christmas? I'm dreaming of white Christmas.
I think so too.
I think the coconut is very muted at the moment. The cinnamon is up front with loads of bourbon.
I mean, there is a bit of toastiness to it. I mean, it's not...
toasted coconut.
There is some toasted coconut in here, but it's not... Actually, the more you smell, the more you get.
Yeah, but it's like I'm getting layers and layers of like this like warm spice,
spice,
cinnamon,
raisins.
There's raisins, dark fruit. It's almost like a bit like a little bit ginger snap cookie or a gingerbread cookie. Pumpkin cake. It's lightly, but it's not like the same layer. It's just like if you did it just with cinnamon, because those also have other spices. But so it's not as layered.
It actually smells like cookies.
A little bit,
yeah,
because there's some breadiness from the Munich malt. Should we try it?
Yeah,
it smells great. Cheers, and thanks to Beer Dome for the beer. Oh, that's aged. Really, so much milky coconut.
It's so milky. It's almost like coconut milk.
Yeah. So much like sweet milky coconut and then cinnamon. It's actually a very nice combination. Caramel toffee, burnt toastiness. It's interesting because it's more toasty and roasty than like some barley wines. And like with black barley wines, like they're sweeter than this as well. Yeah. So it's like, it's kind of its own thing, really.
It's so, I mean, the mouth, like when you just take that sip, it's so pleasant. It's just like perfect mouthfeel. There's the exact amount of carbonation that you want. And then the cinnamon and the coconut just explodes in your mouth.
And I'm impressed how forward the cinnamon and coconut is for this being 2 years in the bottle. It explodes on the palate. It feels Christmassy, but also a bit tropical because of the coconut. Like I'm thinking, Christmas in the tropics? Are we on the Virgin Islands?
I mean, it makes sense with the...
Oh yeah, the tropic-looking Yeti on the label.
Yeah.
I mean, this is even a beer we could have used for Barley Wember. Because there is definitely also barley wine nuances, because it's got like a lot of caramel and fudge. But it has that like toastiness and roastiness of a stout, but it just doesn't taste like a stout.
No, not
it's
at all.
Definitely something in between, and it's its own thing. But I think what it's similar most to is like barley wine, old ale, these kind of beers. But it's just more toasty and like slightly roasty.
Yeah, but it's not overpowering at all. I mean, the toastiness and roastiness is good it's there because it balances out the sweetness from all the other things.
Yeah.
It's a very nice beer.
I'm definitely getting like it. So it's quite chilled. Like it's not cold. This has just been standing on the windowsill, cooling down in an open window.
I think it's a good chill.
So it's a good. Yeah, it's like lightly chilled, not cold. And then like I'm getting lots of bourbon too, and as it's sitting in the glass a bit and getting warmer, I'm getting a lot of vanilla.
Yeah. But I really like the coconut. Like, and you can taste that it has been roasted.
Yeah.
You taste it's roasted coconut. It's not like a generic coconut flavor. You can actually smell that.
It tastes like real coconut. It doesn't taste like coconut flavoring. No. It's like the real deal. Yeah. And like the body on it, it's full. It's somewhat similar to the Limfjordsporter, just a little bit more sticky.
Yeah, more sticky.
And lower carbonated, but it doesn't need necessarily to be richer than this.
No, it's not like the beers you have where you can only drink one glass. You can actually have one more of this and no problem.
Because there's roastiness, there's a little bit of bitterness, there's like a lot of balance.
It doesn't get clawing or desserty or anything like that. This is it's a full beer. There's a lot of things going on here, but it's a beer you can drink and you can have a second glass, no problem.
Yeah, I agree. I thought this would be fun to put into the mix because it is B-Bomb is Abominable Ale is a Christmas beer for them, so it is a Christmas type beer. And then you got the cinnamon, so it's even more festive. So I thought it was appropriate to use for this. But yeah, I think it's lovely. I fucking really dig this. Now we're going to be trying some whiskey as well.
Let's see if Glenfiddich can do good whiskey.
Yeah. I mean, when is the last time you had a Glenfiddich? You remember?
I mean, that's the thing with Glenfiddich.
Have you had it before?
I think I have had it before, but that's the same thing with Glenfiddich is you don't remember the last time you had a Glenfiddich glass of whiskey.
It's kind of one of these drinks. If you go to like your grandparents' 80th birthday, or something like that at a restaurant or at a hotel, then there will be coffee and cognac and whiskey for the dessert or for after dessert.
And that's gonna be the Glenfiddich.
And then most of the times you'll see a Glenfiddich there, and then people, they have single malt whiskey, or they have cognac, whatever. And but a lot of the stuff is stuff that you then get at these places. It's just like these, like mass market brands.
Yeah.
Not to say that this is gonna be bad.
No.
But
not because we are not like cognac whiskey experts. I mean, we know what we like.
Yeah. So, I mean,
and the last one you got me, the Octomore, was just
I mean, that's a whole different beast.
It looks nice.
Yeah, I mean it's got some aged color to it. It's golden.
Yeah. It's golden, dark, brownish, dark. Yeah.
But let's just check out the aroma of this one.
Yeah.
Very appley. Lots of apple.
But
it's not that complex for an 18-year-old Scotch.
No. And it has a lot of sweetness.
Yeah. I'm just getting loads of stewed apple. I'm also getting a bit of cinnamon, actually.
Yeah.
Stewed apple, cinnamon, plums. Like, it's very bright.
Very bright and very sweet.
There's
not very grainy.
There's a touch of the Oloroso sherry. It's almost similar to the Madeira wine, like a sharp, tart grape nuances, but mostly I'm just getting loads of apple. Apple, and then a little bit of like brown sugar and warm spice.
It's pretty. I don't think I have smelled a whiskey like this before.
Meh.
I don't know if that's a good, thing.
I mean, it smells bad. It doesn't smell bad.
It doesn't smell bad.
It's just for an 18-year-old glass of Scotch, it doesn't smell that complex. It's 40%.
Because there's no like what you think about like leather or tobacco or any of these kind of
really
aromas. It's really fruity. It's really sweet.
Let's try.
Yeah, let's do it.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks to my mom's boyfriend for this guy.
3 years, 4 years ago.
4 years later, 3 years later.
Wow.
There's definitely more caramel and toffee on the flavor, but it's really fruity.
It's really, really fruity.
Vanilla, warm spice. It is a little bit festive.
It's festive, and to me, it's a bit boring.
It is.
Yeah.
It's pretty much what I think of when I think Scotch. Scotch that's not like, or supermarket Scotch.
Yeah.
Like, it's not got a lot of layers. It's very bright and in your face, but there's not like loads of stuff going on. And by no means a terrible glass of whiskey.
But it's weird. It's like
it's so fruity. It's almost like
watery almost.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's not even oily.
No, it's not oily. Yeah. What you get with the really good stuff.
To be honest, I would rather have a glass of the Madeira wine than this.
Yeah, I agree.
It's so aptly. Green apple, pears, there's a bit of clove, there's a bit of cinnamon, and then there's like fruity, grapey, almost like grappa spirit. If you ever had grappa, it's like a distilled, fortified spirit from Italy, from grapes. And it has like a very sharp fruitiness, and it's similar to that.
It's funny. It's probably like what, 42?
40.
It's 40.
Yeah, so it's definitely also diluted a lot.
Yeah. I mean, you can taste that, but I don't know if it's just because I've gotten used to cask strength whiskey. Maybe. And
this is also like an entry level Scotch.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And for that, I think many people will like.
I think a lot of people love this. Like if you only had shitty whiskey and you have this, you're like, oh, and I can actually sip on it. Like, it's so easy going.
Because it is
really easy drinkable for what it is. I don't think this needs any dilution with water or anything. It's perfect as it is.
I mean, if you got this on the rocks, it would just taste like water.
You'd need those whiskey stones because it would be so thin if you just added water to this. It's not like it's bad, but it's just like very like
it's not.
It's very run-of-the-mill single malt Scotch.
Yeah.
I think it might even be one of the best variations I've had on B-Bomb. I think I've had rated B-Bomb higher in the past. So take that into addition and take it with a grain of salt. The other ratings, because maybe I would grade them lower today. I don't know. It's all about mood, but I feel like it's a 95, maybe 96. But I really like this variation. It's really, really nice, and it could also just be because I'm getting over a cold, and that's why I'm not.
We both are right now. I mean, it's kind of Christmassy that we're both sitting here sniffing a little bit as well. But I agree. I think this is up in the 95, 96 territory as well. It's really nice. I really like that you can taste everything in the beer as it's written on there.
Yeah. It really gets more chocolatey as it warms too.
Yeah. It's so good.
It's really good. But the spirit, what do you think about the Glenfiddich 18? Scale of, what do you say, 10?
I mean, that's average, right? So maybe 5, 6.
I would say 6 or 7. Like, I don't hate it, but it's just also just like a little bit boring. Like, if I got this served at a bar, like, I'd like a glass of Scotch. We have Glenfiddich 18, okay. I'd have a glass and be like, it's okay, but that's all
I just have so much better. This is a whiskey I would serve to somebody that hasn't tried or is just getting into it and want to try, getting into it. Because getting into whiskey, that's not easy. No. I mean, for a lot of people, that's not very easy to do. So, and I think this would be a good whiskey for that. So, yeah.
And with that said, we're going to end the episode of the 2nd December. We're halfway there. We've got 2 more episodes left. And I'll say I'm getting more
quite
tipsy much faster than in the regular calendar because we're drinking booze every episode and really strong beer. So,
but that's what you guys want, right? That's what you're here for. Filthy bastards.
Filthy bastards. Yeah, we'll be back with the grand old one. I mean, there's not going to be a sleeping Brett this year. Sorry for that. But yeah, this was lovely. Really, I love this. The B-Bomb is amazing.
Yeah.
Great beer. So thanks a ton to Beer Dome for the beer. Stay tuned for the next episode of the Master of Puppets Grand Advent Calendar. Next Sunday. We've got 2 more episodes to go. Holy shit, it's going much quicker than usual. Maybe it's also because I'm kids and I don't drink that much anymore. Like, I'm just not, I've lost my training wheels. It's just too fast.
They're off.
They're off. But yeah, see you guys on the next episode. Thanks a ton for tuning in, and cheers and Merry Christmas.